Hi, how are you? We're back again with another hand stripping video. This is part 3 if you want to call it that. This is another little dog and I'm really excited because I started him before he got here and have been playing with the coat and I've noticed that he's perfect for showing you really how to roll a coat, because he's got a nice center length, a little bit of undercoat, and he's got that top coat, and that's what we want to get out of. He's a full male, so he's probably the closest that you'll get to a perfect coat, or a virgin coat if you want to call it that, because he hasn't been neutered, so the hormones haven't changed, which also changes the structure and growth pattern sometimes of the hair. So this, and this is why I love Border Terriers. So this little guy is very, very sweet, and we're going to show you what we've done a little bit, and then we're going to show you how to get there on the other side of him as well. So I'll put my spectacles on and away we go. This is, I'll show you just as he's already facing this way and comfortable. This is what I've done already. It took virtually no time at all to get it to that, because it's a lovely, lovely coat. You don't have to deal with this thickness or anything else. I mean, this is him before he's been touched, except for a little brush through with a undercoat rake or coat king or whatever you want to call these things. But I did a little bit of that and a little bit of carding just with my stripping knife, just to lift a little bit of the undercoat. Very, very light bit of fuzz. That's the undercoat. Now I'm going to show you the awesome part of what we're taking out. And literally you can see speckles of white through. Those white hairs are predominantly the outer coat that are getting ready to blow. You can see how scraggly in a profile, if you see, look down his shoulder, all the stuff that's sticking off and out of it, it's very easily coming out, and it's just going to release like that. So that's the stuff that we'll have to get out, and even just with a couple of pulls and a couple of hairs. Where we're taking 2 or 3 hairs, we were taking maybe 20 or 30 hairs from on the little dog in part 2. So huge difference. So if we show you how to roll this coat, and we've shown you before on the other dogs how to do it, but with this one we can actually show you the difference. So if I lift that up there, if you can see in there, you can see the top coat and you can see this middle coat. Now if I keep you there while I just take this outer stuff off, so I'm pulling from the ends, so it's only the really dead stuff or stuff that's ready to release is going to come. And you're left with this nicer, richer colour of the coat that's still growing, and you're not having to go down to the pyjamas, as we keep talking about, where we're just stripping every single thing off the dog. So this is where, if you get into this rotation and a nice little schedule with a dog, then you can get to a part where he's still got some nice length of coat on him. And you can constantly rotate the coat and roll it so he doesn't end up just completely bare. Then to go a step further, depending on where they want to, if they're wanting you to work into the likes of a show trim, if they'll come once a week, because that's really what you need to get it into that, then you can really start extra shaping, tightening those shoulders in, bringing that neck in tight underneath the throat, leaving this so that it blends in nice. But even from the back of the head, if you can see all these wussy bits sticking out. That just is going to come right out like that. See how easy? This wee man is 9 years old, so he's been hand stripped all his life. He doesn't mind it at all. See how different the scragglies to the non-scragglies. 2 seconds. That's what you want to do whenever you're hand stripping, as opposed to this 3 hours laborious, repetitive, achy procedure that we usually end up in the middle of. So if you're going to hand strip, my suggestion is that you get a customer who is willing to commit. If they're not, why should you? Because all you're going to do is increase your massage and chiropractic and osteopathic bills more than anything else. But I'm going to stop waffling for a minute and just do a wee bit of work here so you can see on camera what I did the other side. There's nothing to say that I did it while you weren't here, is there? Right. So I can roll, I can even just see it in profile, see where the hair's sticking out, and take all that off. So whenever I'm pulling this as well, I should mention that when I'm grabbing, I'm making sure I'm not grabbing that lower coat. I'm grabbing the longer hair because that's all I want to get rid of. Okay, and once you can focus on that and see that in your own dogs as you're rotating them, it's going to be so much easier, because to try and get in there again and pull that, that is not coming out. That is healthy, growing hair and is well rooted. Does not want to go anywhere. So you're not going to be able to pull that out. So just keep moving it around, pulling all this extra stuff out. And you can be as fast or slow as you want. I mean, you can go along with your fingers and just pluck it. And it comes really easily, so you don't need a lot of extra help or tools. I did use a wee bit of my mineral powder in there just to get a little bit of grip. But beyond that, it's not bad. So, I mean, I'm just picking around there to let you see that. Now I'm going to actually get some work done here. Still tighten the skin. Now, I mean, if you get into the habit as well where you're still pushing that up ahead of you, instead of grabbing it there, you're grabbing it here. So it is that top coat that's coming out. And once you get into the habit, you can then be doing it like this. And you know it's just the outer, lighter coat that you're wanting to get rid of. Till you're comfortable with that, by all means, roll that coat. It's going to show you what needs to come out. And you're going to end up with a nice profile. Once you've got that hair out, you've got an even length all the way around from the bit that you've pulled. And then you can move forward or move back to get another bit to take. And that is rolling. Move your way down and go through. It's always nice if you can see it in profile, so you can see what hairs are coming or not. So when you can go through that, you might not think you're doing much. And certainly compared to doing the big job of stripping a whole coat back to nothing, which is really what we did in part 2, this will feel like an absolute gift. If you're going crazy and still seeing that one little bugger of a white hair sticking in there, just take your finger and thumb and pluck it out. Okay, take a little break, comb it down, see where you are. Okay, it's starting to come. You can see now this bit here is getting closer to this bit, still far enough from this bit here, so you can easily see where you've done and where you haven't, without leaving holes anywhere. Plus look at the amount of coat that's still on this dog. Awesome. And that's more what you're looking for. And remember, this is pet grooming. This is not professing to be anything other than, because whenever you're going into your show trims or show stripping, you should be on that dog very, very, very often so that you can actually get the proper length of coat on each area of the body. I remember when I was at grooming school watching an old VHS tape, wasn't that long ago either, of a couple of gentlemen who were showing how to hand strip the schnauzer, and they were doing the whole rotation, what part you did on week 1, what part you did on week 2, so that by the time you were ready to put that dog in the show ring, it had all of the exact length of coat. My goodness, they were very, very strict. Now that was over in Europe. I know a lot of times we'll be faced with dogs coming in or saying from handlers or whoever that, oh, you only do it once every 8 months. Oh, okay. Each to their own. How the showing rules are in the States or Canada compared to Europe, I don't know. I don't show dogs. I'm a pet groomer. So certainly you would be wanting to ask a handler or show person more often. Now, I'm glad this isn't smelly vision, because we've got a little gaseous puppy here on the table. And once we get this done as well, I'll just clip her out the pads. I will pull this in. Actually, if he's not very, he's a wee bit camera shy actually. If I can get my tongue untied. So if we can show you his head a little bit. I did do this side. I didn't do this side. So you can see just a more tidied eyebrow. And this is really, really easy. Look at this. That'll just come right out. Not much discomfort. He's a bit of a fusser anyway. But and even his ears, I do in around here as well. It's much nicer than it grown back, woolly and fuzzy. And that doesn't take long. If it has been clippered before, it doesn't take very long to rotate it into a nice little coat that's going to strip. So there's one that's pretty much done. So I'm going to carry on and do this. I think you can see what I'm rambling on about. I hope these all have helped you. And once I finish him to the point where I'm happy, I'll do a very cool bath, dry him out, and then come back through and just run the coat backwards and take out any extra little bits that are still sticking around. And then he'll be a happy wee chappy and go home with mum. So thanks very much for joining us. I hope, as I say, these have been useful for you. Please keep in touch with us and send us an email or get us on Facebook, on the group, or on our page if there are certain topics that you'd like us to ramble on about. And we will hopefully be able to put something together for you. Again, it's Wendy at Dogs of Pride. You can shop with us online at dogsofpride.com. Join us on Facebook and Twitter, and we hope to see you down the road sometime soon. Thanks a lot for joining us again. Bye bye.